When you have evidence that your rough ideas for a research project actually refer to a problem or topic worth studying, then you need to define an objective. This constitutes the second step for performing a case study. Here, two are the questions you need to address as a researcher. How do you express your objectives? And do you use propositions to better state your objectives? In this step, it's key to remember that qualitative studies typically address how and why questions. So your objectives and research questions should refer to gaining a proper understanding about how a given phenomenon works and/or why it emerged and developed in a certain way. Concerning the opportunity to state propositions or hypotheses, this leads back to the case study type you are performing, as well as to the role the literature plays in framing your research. For instance, while an explanatory case makes a strong use of theory up front and proposes hypotheses concerning relationship among variables and expected results, as inferred by the theory selected, exploratory case studies tend to limit the reliance on theoretical framing and hypothesis formulation, since the variables and their relationships will likely emerge from the data gathering process. Indeed, the decisions on how to frame the case study in the extant theory constitutes a third key step in the research process. Traditionally, literature is used in qualitative research to confirm the academic and practitioner relevance of the problem and position the topic, as mentioned earlier, refine objectives and goals, interpret relevant elements of the case through a theoretical lens, and describe, explain, or explore the case itself based on its descriptive, explanatory, or exploratory. As a result of the use of the literature to frame and guide the case study, problems and cases will be investigated as real-world applications of theory. Let's now apply the first three steps of the case study research method I just described to our example. Concerning the problem or topic under scrutiny, the business model innovation process in early-stage digital startups complies with all the characteristics mentioned to properly set the stage for the study. The problem is significant since business model innovation is a process in need for better and more refined theory, and little is known about how digital startups embark in this endeavor of innovating their value architecture. It is novel since BMI is an emerging research field, and so are startups operating in a digital field with specific reference to the digital multi-sided platforms my study addresses. It is interesting and appealing since recent innovation cases naturally catch the eyes of academics and practitioners alike. It has a wide scope and audience, as designing and innovating a business model through a digital technology is a process virtually every organization could go through, and is actionable, since the findings from the study provide guidelines for digital entrepreneurs on how to orchestrate BMI. Concerning the study's objective, I set forth the following research question. How do early-stage digital startups perform their business model innovation process? This quite broad research question is aligned with the exploratory nature of the study. Moreover, as you can see, this case investigates the how of a complex process, consistently with the primary aim of qualitative research. About the role of theory, being the case exploratory, no preordained relationship among variables and no specific proposition or hypothesis are anticipated. The case will leverage business model innovation theory as a starting point, while leaving theory contribution as a consequence of the empirical research performed. As this lecture provided guidelines on how to set the problem, define research objectives, and frame the analysis in theory, in the next one I will approach another key methodological part in the process, which concerns the unit of analysis definition and the case selection.